Hey everybody, Little Mo Gaming here. Welcome back to another episode of A Little Mo Gaming at Lunch. Actually, I think I'm going to be changing that title soon. I don't know if I'll apply it to this video or the next one, but yeah, I think I'm going to simplify it and just make it LMG episode, whatever number it is, just to kind of, remove the, if you know, you know. But yeah, I think I'm going to be changing that name. It's been a while. How's everyone doing? I hope that everybody's doing okay. I have been MIA, not really recording or uploading anything for a couple weeks now, just because life has been really, really hectic. The wife, I say the wife, Meha, Meha and I, we're in the middle of moving right now, and the big day is tomorrow. So officially our moving day is tomorrow, which is Friday, which for you would probably be today. I'm going to try to upload this tomorrow or today for Friday. So happy Friday. But yeah, this is going to be our moving day. It's the day we've been waiting for, but we've been prepping for it. And with work, I've just been super, super busy. But yeah, so I haven't really been able to record anything or upload anything due to that, and as well some other stuff. We have a procedure that we're about to do soon. So but yeah, I wanted to get on today and just kind of talk about some stuff. The biggest thing I wanted to talk about in regards to gaming is the Game Awards that just passed. But before I do that, I did want to upload an episode just kind of highlighting some moments from our Houston trip. I have some recorded footage that was pretty cool. I'm probably not going to be able to include that in this episode just because I don't have the time to do any heavy duty editing tonight. I really just going to put together like a simple video here, just kind of highlighting some moments from the Game Awards that I thought were pretty cool, and also just talking about other stuff in general. So without further ado, so really it's really crazy because it's almost come full circle at this point as far as my first year making content and making videos for this channel. Last year around this time when the Game Awards happened is when I was brainstorming ideas for the channel and how I wanted to approach it and what topics I wanted to start with. And I wanted to make a video talking about the Game Awards, but it was a little too late for me to do that. Now, it's only been about a week since the Game Awards at this point, so I think I'm still in the clear to upload a video about it. But I remember last year the Game Awards came and went, and I wanted to talk about it, but I just didn't get the chance. So here I am now talking about 2025's Game Awards, and I've always loved watching the Game Awards ever since I discovered them back when they were first on Spike TV. I don't remember what it was called, the official name, but I think there was a couple of years where I saw it on Spike TV. I have some memories of moments of seeing Samuel L. Jackson, presenting an award, and I think Jessica Alba was on stage talking about Dark Souls, and that was I think when they revealed Dark Souls 2, if I'm not mistaken. That was a really long time ago, and I think that's also where they revealed Metal Gear Solid 5, or they showed that first trailer that no one knew what this was, but people started to guess that it might be Metal Gear Solid 5, and of course it did end up being that, but that's when it was just called The Phantom Pain. So then they canceled the TV version, and I remember Jeff Keighley, he did an online version where he co-hosted with Joel from Community, and that was a kind of cringy show, but it was cringy because Joel was making jokes the whole time, and I remember it was pretty funny just seeing the look on Jeff's face every time Joel made a joke. And then it was after that they officially started the Game Awards as they are today. And of course, in the beginning, it was very small. It wasn't as big and grand as it is now, but it's amazing to see how much it's grown. And there's always a lot of discourse around the Game Awards, both negative and positive. Negative in the sense that, it's a really long awards show because it's got a lot of padding, with advertisements for gacha games and things like that, which of course makes sense in that, they need to make money somehow, right? So I'm sure it's a very expensive show. But yes, there is definitely a lot of padding there and a lot of bloat. However, with that, I still love watching it. I think it's an exciting time of the year as a gamer because it's like this event, right? Like the Game Awards, it's about 3 hours long. You know, you get together with friends or family, whoever wants to watch it with you, or you just watch it on your own. I, for the most part, watch it on my own right now. I used to watch it with my brothers. I would like force them to come and watch it, and it was fun just to see the game announcements and to see what won, you know, the awards and all that, and the moments that they have, because there are definitely some cool moments as well. Like this year, I really enjoyed the showcase they had with the cast of the Street Fighter movie, the upcoming Street Fighter movie. I thought that was really cool. It just makes it seem larger than it, you know, it seems larger as an event, right? Because you have events like the Oscars, you know, and the Grammys and all that. And now gaming has its own big Oscars event, you know, the Game Awards. And it's really cool. And I've always enjoyed it. And, you know, this year's show was not an exception to that rule. So I want to talk about a few games that stood out to me here. As far as, you know, the announcements that they made. The first one, I'm just going off of a list, really. I'm not going to talk about everything, but they showed off a new, like, kind of horror, like, dark fantasy game called Decrepit that looked really cool. Not really too much to say on that, but it looked cool. It looked really cool. And Bradley the Badger. So they showed off this platformer where you play as this badger and you play through, like, you know, like rehashes of, it's like levels that are rehashed versions of, like, you know, beloved game franchises. Like there was stuff like Cyberpunk, Bloodborne, The Last of Us, and it just looked really crazy. Like I'm really excited to see what this game is about. That was the first one that really stood out to me, and it looks awesome. Especially because I just started playing Astro's Playroom. I haven't played Astro Bot yet. That's definitely going to be played within the next year. But I just started playing Astro's Playroom so I can get a feel for that. And my God, it is so fun. I mean, it's hard to believe that this is just a demo, but I'll talk about that in a different video. I'll probably be showing some gameplay here. Star Wars Fate of the Old Republic. Crazy surprise announcement. It's going to be a long time before we actually get it, but, you know, we're actually getting a new, like, Knights of the Old Republic style game, and I think the original person who worked on those games, Casey Hudson, is directing this one, so that's really exciting. I never played KOTOR, so I don't have much to say in that regard, but I've heard that it's like Star Wars and Mass Effect type style, and it's really, really high quality RPG. So very exciting. And then, of course, they revealed Divinity, which was the surprise behind the statue, the elusive statue that came up and caused a lot of discourse on the internet. Everyone thought it was going to be Bloodborne or some sort of, like, you know, From Software game. And it ended up being Divinity. And, of course, the trailer was absolutely insane. I never played Divinity Original Sin. They actually just released a remaster for Original Sin 2. I'll probably dive into that sometime this year just to kind of experience it with the hype. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool. You know, it's a cool little announcement. Coven of the Chicken Foot looked really cool, kind of a cutesy game where you play as this grandma with like a sheep or like a sheep monster or something. One of the people behind Uncharted back in the day, I think he created the studio behind this game. So, I mean, that looks pretty cool. And then they showed Ontos, which was from the developers of Amnesia and Soma, which I just started playing Soma, actually. I might have some footage here. It's really atmospheric and cool so far. Haven't really got that far in, but I do plan on playing through it. I played Amnesia back in the day on PC and had a lot of fun with that. So Ontos looks to be a little crazier. It's like a sci-fi style, and it looks like it's a little more involved. So I don't know. We'll see how that goes. A lot of other cool stuff. Exodus is like a Mass Effect style sci-fi RPG that looks pretty dope. Control Resonant. I mean, I'm a big fan of Control. You know, I'm a fan of Alan Wake 2. If you've seen my Game of the Year video from last year, that was one of my games of the year. So the next chapter in that franchise, Resonant, looks awesome. It looks insane. I don't know what more to say besides that. It looks trippy. It looks fun. You know, Control was definitely one of the greatest games I've ever played, so I'm definitely hyped for that. Gang of Dragon, I guess that's being made by one of the developers of Yakuza. And this is like not really necessarily by Sega, but it's kind of in that same style. It looks pretty cool. We didn't really see much as far as gameplay, but it looked cool, And then of course we saw some games that we already know about, Resident Evil Requiem. Definitely look forward to that. Lego Batman is going to be great. Two new Tomb Raider announcements. So they're remaking the original Tomb Raider and calling it Tomb Raider Legacy of Atlantis. And then they're making a brand new Tomb Raider game called Tomb Raider Catalyst. I'm not 100% sure if this is going to be based off of the Tomb Raider trilogy that we got in the PS4 generation, because Lara Croft does look a little different in the trailers. But either way, I mean, that trilogy was awesome. I haven't played Shadow yet. I played Rise and I played the Tomb Raider Definitive Edition on PS4. Those games are absolutely phenomenal, and I'm definitely looking forward to playing these two new Tomb Raider games. We'll get Legacy of Atlantis first, but yeah, very excited for that. And then Forest 3 looked cool. It's the next installment in the Forest franchise. I've never played the Forest or Sons of the Forest, but this one does look pretty crazy. And then a bunch of other stuff. I'm just going down this list to what I remember. No Law is from Neon Giant, who made The Ascent. I've heard of The Ascent. I always thought it was like not my cup of tea, but I looked at some gameplay and it actually looks pretty fun. I might look into picking that up soon, so I can experience it. It's like a cyberpunk twin stick shooter that apparently is actually really, really good. And No Law, their new game, is like a first person shooter. I almost thought it was like Cyberpunk 2, but no, I mean, it looks pretty cool. And then Ace Combat 8 looks awesome. I never played an Ace Combat game, so maybe that'll be my first one, unless I get into 7. I don't know. I was thinking about it. One that I thought was really cool too was Star Wars Galactic Racer. That looks really awesome. I loved playing the racer game on N64. I do have it, and yeah, this is like a modern take on that style of game, so it looks pretty cool. And then of course, they're doing a new Mega Man game. I like Mega Man. I'm not like the biggest Mega Man nerd or anything, but it's cool to see that they're going back to that old 2D style. And then of course there's the final announcement of the night, which this is where I think a lot of the negative discourse this year is coming from. High Guard. Excuse me. High Guard was the final announcement before they showed who won Game of the Year, and it's really been a surprise because it's essentially a free-to-play hero shooter in the vein of something like Overwatch or Valorant or Concord, and we all know how that went with Concord. So pretty nuts that they showed this as like the final announcement. Usually they keep that slot for like a really crazy like first like not first but like single player game, right? Like I think last year was Intergalactic from Naughty Dog. That was like the final announcement. That was huge. But to see that they kept that slot this year for a hero shooter, pretty wild, honestly, especially considering what's been going on with that genre and what's been happening with those games and what happened with Concord. I mean, does it look fun? Yes. It's by the developers of Titanfall. Not all of them, but it has people from behind Titanfall as well as Apex Legends. So there's definitely some talent behind it, and it is free to play. So you can't complain about that. I mean, it's going to be free. So it might be a cool game, but I don't know. I mean, it's just another hero shooter. So like nothing too exciting there. Definitely for me, it was a disappointment as far as being like a final announcement of the Game Awards. Like, I was hoping for nothing in particular, but at least something a little more exciting than that. But hey, it is what it is. I mean, at the end of the day, there's a ton of people who enjoy hero shooters, and I'm sure they're excited, and that's awesome for them. I mean, there was a lot of cool announcements. I really have nothing to complain about there. So overall, I really enjoyed the Game Awards 2025. And in general, I just really enjoy watching the Game Awards and, like the whole idea of like having this event, and, definitely looking forward to Summer Game Fest because it's just a good time as well. But yeah, gaming has been right now very limited for me. I haven't really been able to play much KCD right now because of the move and everything. So I'm mostly doing some handheld gaming on my Switch, as well as I purchased a Retroid Pocket 5, which found on eBay for a really good deal, and it's practically brand new. Guy barely used it, but he was selling it for a good price. And man, let me tell you that thing is awesome. I'm going to talk about it in a different video, though. I'll probably make a games I got for Black Friday and the holidays video, which is actually the first video I made on this channel. So yeah, definitely excited to get back into like uploading once we get all settled into our new apartment and everything. Looking forward to 2026 as far as like what it has in store gaming wise for me, and for everyone in general as far as the games coming out and all that. And, yeah, I just wanted to come on here and talk about games. It's been a while. I enjoy doing this, and I hope you enjoy listening to me ramble. So, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and stop it right there. And as always, take care.
Come on in, sir. There's wine aplenty.